Foyle Sports Sound with Oren Crumley.
Derry City are back in European action after last week's victory over HB Tórshavn.
Derry have taken the lead. Diallo has headed it past the goalkeeper, and the breakthrough has come in this tie at last as Derry City's European campaign finally has liftoff.
Candy Stripes manager Rory Higgins expects a step up in class.
They're a really good team. We've done a lot of work on them obviously over the last few days, and without being disrespectful to Tórshavn, they're definitely a step up.
And the Republic of Ireland women's side have crashed out of the World Cup.
It's the results that matter in this game and at this level, and these type of tournaments. I'm just heartbroken for the girls because I felt like we deserved so much more from the game. Yeah, just heartbroken.
Good evening and welcome to Foyle Sports Sound. I'm Oren Crumley. Also on the programme this evening, the GA World Games have been running in County Derry this week, with the finals taking place at Celtic Park just up the road tomorrow. And one former Derry forward is inspiring a French forward.
The best full forward ever from Derry.
Who's that?
You were blowing Joe brother. Yeah, just like walking behind the goal. I need the kisses.
Yep, that's to come, but first our main feature is the big game here at the Ryan McBride Brandywell Stadium in the Europa Conference League as Derry City face Coops of Finland. The man with the team news as always is Eric White.
Thank you very much, Oren. Well, the main team news actually concerns the opposition, which we'll come to shortly, but first Rory Higgins makes two changes from last Thursday night's 1-0 win over Tórshavn. Goal hero Sadhu Diallo drops to the bench along with Paul McMullen. Captain Patrick McElhinney is in from the start along with Brandon Kavanagh. Adam O'Reilly is available again after suspension and takes his place on the bench. So Derry City will line out with Brian Maher in goal, a back four from right to left of Ronan Boyce, Mark Connolly, Cameron McJanet and Ben Doherty. The midfield three of Cameron Dummigan, Patrick McElhinney and Will Patching, and the forward line includes Brandon Kavanagh, Michael Duffy and Jamie McGonigal. Well, that news in relation to the visiting team, it's emerged that three of their regular starters, Cisse, Sichenja and Antwi, all unavailable as they did not receive the necessary visas to travel here in time. So their plans upset considerably, you would think, by that news. The team that takes to the pitch tonight includes their regular goalkeeper, the Austrian Cradle, the back four of Saarinen, Tuvomäki, Hämäläinen and Mittinen. In midfield it's Oksanen, Vichesko and Nisala, while up front Savolainen, Tominen and Yengi, who will be their furthest player forward. Their English striker Jake Jervis, who is a regular starter, he's just on the bench tonight, while they're also without two injured players, Anto Popovic and Jona Vitali, who would normally be in the side as well. The second leg is to come in Finland next week, but kick-off here for tonight's first leg at the Ryan McBride Brandywell Stadium, with the seats continuing to fill up here ahead of the 7:45 kick-off.
Thanks very much, Eric. Alongside Mr. White in the commentary box as always is the former Derry City striker Liam Coyle. Liam, will pick up where Eric finished off there. Three of the visitors' defenders missing with visa issues. Surely that's a big chance for Derry.
Well, it's a massive lift. I'm sure Rory will be telling his team it doesn't matter who they play, you know, but if you're missing three of your back four, your regular back four, then it's going to weaken you. There's no doubt about it. So I'm sure, you know, us up here getting a bit excited about it, I'm sure in the dressing room will be a different matter.
There's a bit more pressure on Derry to go and get a result tonight.
Well, there always is when you're playing. I mean, you were talking about it in the breakfast show this morning. It's these fixtures are designed to give you a chance of winning. You know, not like years ago where you met a top team and you knew you weren't going to win it. These games are designed to give you a chance, and you know, the first couple of rounds especially, the teams are not too dissimilar in stature and style. So I think Derry have every chance here of getting a result tonight and technically from that next week.
But if it is a 50-50 and they're missing 3 of their back 4, it has to tip the scales. You have to take advantage of that.
Well, I really do. You really do. And we talked about this morning as well too about the performance last week, second half especially, where Derry really took their foot off the pedal. I think that goal in the first half last week might have changed their mindset. So it's important to start off well tonight. Try and get that early goal and build on it.
What do you make of the team that Rory Higgins has named for tonight? The hero of the last time, I'd say, Diallo drops to the bench.
Well, it's probably the first time this year where he's probably picked the team that's his strongest, that he actually thinks is his strongest. Or I think Diallo, you can swap Diallo and O'Reilly, and with Patrick maybe not playing as many games, you could throw them in there. But I think if you were to ask Rory who was in his mind who's the best 11, then that on paper there would be his best 11.
It's just the problem is goals.
Well, goals has been a problem for I think what's Derry's top goal scorer of the season? 5, is it? I think it's from Jordan McAnuff, is it? So the 2 strikers, he's brought in another striker from Scotland. He's not really up to speed yet, so you can see that in the way he's playing. McGonigal and Kavanagh have struggled, and not only struggled with goals, but struggled with their overall play as well too, the way that Derry want to play. So it's something that they have to address.
They certainly will. More from you in a minute. Liam, time to hear from the Derry City camp. Earlier this week, Eric White caught up with the County Stripes manager Rory Higgins and began by asking how much of a step up tonight's opponents are from the first round victory over Tushavin.
I think they're a really good team. We've done a lot of work on them, obviously, over the last few days, and without being disrespectful to Tushavin, they're definitely a step up. In relation to our performance, I thought for about 130 out of the 180 minutes that we played really well in the last round. But we'll need that type of performance for the 2 games, and if we're to progress in the next round, that's for sure.
You've had them watched in terms of their strengths and weaknesses. What do they do particularly well, and equally, where do you feel you have a chance to get at them?
No, they're an extremely dynamic team. They're a dynamic team. They've got good individual players. And listen, we obviously have a plan that we're working towards, and what we feel will cause them problems. Hopefully if we work towards that and be disciplined in what we're trying to achieve, then we can get a big result. But we know that over the course of the 2 games, this is a huge challenge, but one that we're ready for.
Is the pressure off to an extent now that you've at least won through a round and you've increased your European prize money?
Well, I don't know if the pressure's off. I think no one puts more pressure on me and than myself, that's for sure, and the players. Every game we play, we don't see this as we're a big underdog thing. We see this as a game that we're capable of winning. We know the opposition are excellent. They're really good team, and as I said, really good individual players. But we've got brilliant footballers as well who are ready for this stage, and hopefully we can produce a big night, particularly on Thursday.
Do you feel you need to win the home leg?
It's a difficult question to answer. I think we lost at home last year to Riga, and we had 2 or 3 amazing opportunities to go 1-0 up out there. So we won't be, regardless of the result, we won't be giving up on anything, but we want to go and win here. We've won 3 or 4 in a spin here at home now. Our home form is really gathered momentum, and we want that to continue.
Is there anything in particular you'll have learned from the experience from last year's home leg against Riga?
Possibly. We're very well versed on what we're coming up against. Jared Boyle was out watching them last week. Jared's brilliant on the game, really detailed, and his staff I think we're well organised for this game. The players will be well organised, and hopefully we can put in a big performance for the football club on Thursday night.
Yes, Thursday night has arrived. The crowd starting to file in here at the Ryan McBride Brandywell Stadium. Bring you up to date with some of the other scores across the Europa Conference League qualifiers this evening. Inter Club de Escales of Andorra, shock winners over Hibernian of the Scottish Premiership, winning 2-1 at home. Bodo Glimt of Norway, 3-0 winners against Bohemians 1905 of the Czech Republic. That one interesting because the winners of this tie will face the winners of that tie in the next round of the competition. It's not going too good though for the League of Ireland champions Shamrock Rovers out in Hungary. They're taking on Ferencváros. That game coming close to the end, around about 82 minutes. It's Ferencváros who lead 4-0. Dundalk, they are in Iceland to take on Cagliari. It's currently 2-1 to the Icelandic side. They've just went 2-1 up. It was Bjarni who gave the Icelanders the lead. Dara Leahy equalised for Dundalk, but they've just took the lead once again in that fixture. The Iceland side, Linfield, are at Windsor Park. They take on Pogon of Poland. Crusaders, they are at Seaview against Rosenborg of Norway, and of course the big game here, Derry City against Krups of Finland. Kick-off moments away. Liam, we'll bring you back in at this juncture. Rory Higgins said there about not knowing really what to expect and what to go, just treating it like another game, but Europe's really not another game, is it?
Well, I can understand what he's talking about. When they're an unknown quantity, you know, out of everybody you're going to play, like, you know, in the early stages, you don't know what you're going to get, and you can have them waxed all you want, you know, and you can have detailed reports, but until you go out there and line up against them and you can see what they're really all about, then you'll get an idea. And then if he sees things happening early that he's not happy with, he might be able to change it, but I think he's quite right. He's just got to play. He's got to play the match, not rather than the occasion. Patrick
McElhinney back in from the start. Just how important is that for Derry tonight?
Well, Patrick's. You look at the many games Patrick has played over the years for Dundalk and big games like this here. So you know his experience is going to be invaluable.
Michael Duffy, also that European experience. I mean, this side have went deep in Europe a couple of times. I don't know what sort of the makeup of those squads was, but just knowing people have been there and done it, it's a big plus.
Well, it is, and it gives the players around them a bit of confidence as well, that you have somebody, if things are going against you or getting a bit tight during the game, that you look around and you have somebody like Patrick who can put his foot on the ball, or Mickey who can carry the ball and take you out of pressure. And they played in these high pressure games before, so you know, for players that haven't played in these here, having two players of that calibre and that experience is invaluable.
You said before we went to the Rory Higgins tape there that it's Derry City's strongest team. If you're going to get your strongest team on the pitch together at any one time, you want it to be the big days, and this certainly is one.
Well, you want it, that's right. And this is the thing about, you know, you look over the last 10 years, you look at Shamrock Rovers, you look at Dundalk going deep in Europe. Rory wants to do that. He wants to turn Derry into that kind of team, and you can only do that with your best players. And what he's got out tonight is his best 11 in his mind.
Great atmosphere here, full crowd in. Is it important in Derry to start fast?
They've got to start. It's got to start with tempo. But as I said, it might dictate, you know, because you don't know what they're going to be like. You don't know whether they're going to come and have a go or going to sit, you know, like Tershaven last week. We're happy to sit in there and let Derry have a lot of the ball in the first half especially, so you don't know that team is more dynamic going forward. So after the first 5-10 minutes you'll see what way the game's going to shape up.
Performances haven't been fantastic from Derry City, but they've been getting the job done, and I suppose that's a quality in its own right.
Well, it is, but eventually that'll fall by the wayside. Like, you know, the second half here on Sunday against a really poor Athlone team, you know, it wasn't great, like, you know what I mean, and you want to come to these games on a good bit of form as well too. Even though you're getting results, your form dictates the way you play against the better teams, and they're going to have to produce a performance tonight.
How important is taking a lead back to Finland, giving you something to go away and I suppose hold on to?
Well, it was interesting listening to Rory's thing. He said, well, I don't really know, because of the away goals not counting anymore now. You know, Derry can play as a counter-attacking team, which is good, so they're not afraid to go and defend and try and bring them on them, you know, the way they did last year. So I think you want to go, obviously you want to go with a lead. It gives you something, and it'll mean that they have to come out more. But I think in the over 2 legs, because the away goals don't count as much now, I don't think it's such a bearing.
That is the strange point, because with that rule now a distant memory, it is only half time regardless of what happens.
Whatever happens, it's only half time. As long as you can, like, I think if Derry can go there we have 1-2-0 lead, then they're only shooting in the next round. I think if it goes one each, then it's a different matter. Or they go 1-0 down and they have to come out and change the game next week. But as you say, it's only half time no matter what happens here tonight.
The two teams in their huddle just before the start of the game here, Liam, so probably going to be unfair on you. Well, Derry won it.
I don't know, Warren, to be quite honest. I really don't know. I'll be able to gauge it after 5-10 minutes here what they're like, because I think last week we always felt that Derry were a better side than Torshavn, but this team here we don't know, because if they had been away from home first, you would have said, right, Derry have a chance, but because it's a different quantity, unknown quantity, then we're going to have to wait and see.
Right, if me and you don't know kick-off time is upon us, across to your commentary team of course Liam Foyle, but first of all Eric White.
Thank you very much indeed, Oren. Good evening. 17 years to the day since Derry City produced one of their greatest results in Europe, knocking out Gothenburg from the UEFA Cup. Can the current crop do what only the class of 2006 has managed to achieve, and that is to win through 2 rounds in a European competition? This is only the first leg, of course, the return leg to come in Finland next week, but the place fizzing with anticipation as we get underway here at the Ryan McBride Brandywell Stadium. The visiting Cups team getting the match in process. The side from Finland attacking the goal to our right hand side in the first half in a canary yellow shirt, white shorts and yellow socks, against Derry City in their traditional home colours, attacking the Brandywell Road end in the first half. Derry making 2 changes from last Thursday night's win over Torshavn. Of course, they had that FAI Cup win against Athlone Town on Sunday when they emerged 3-0 winners. Rory Higgins making a wholesale changes get into that game, but from his European lineup last week, it was 2 changes we see tonight. Patrick McElhinney and Brandon Kavanagh coming into the team, as Sadou Diallo, who got the only goal of the first qualifying round tie, on the bench along with Danny Mullen. So Derry City with Boyce, Connolly, McJanet and Doherty playing in front of Maher, Dummigan, Patrick McElhinney and Patchin in midfield, and Kavanagh, Duffy and McGonigal are the 3 up front. As we mentioned at the top of the programme, as Ben Doherty's header back towards his goalkeeper is slightly misplaced, so it's gone behind for the first corner of the game in the 2nd minute of the match. We'll just recap on the Cups team news in a moment, but we'll pause from that right now because the visiting team have got the first corner of this match, and it's going to be taken down to our right hand side by the number 10, who is Nisali, the creative midfielder. He'll be pinpointed as one of the danger men. 12 caps for Finland. He goes for it short, he gets it back again, clips it towards the backward header. Maher forced into a save early on, and a Derry City player, Mark Connolly, getting a crucial block in on the follow-up. Big start from the away team, Liam Coyle.
Yeah, really, and they look as if they come here, they won the match here, like unlike Torshavn last week, who came here just to try and stifle Derry. You look at Cups here, they're playing with more or less 4 up front, and technically look a lot better than last week. But a well-worked corner, went the back post. Brian Maher's made a good save, but Mark Connolly's done really well to get the block.
An early scare for the home team in this first leg tie. Maher called into action, Mark Connolly called into action, and there's certainly a confident look about the away team here as they take the game to their hosts early on. That one hooked away by Cameron McJanet. Now it comes up to Derry's frontman Jimmy McGonigal. Of course, Cups made it, they go straight through, receiving a bye into the 2nd qualifying round, so this is their first match in Europe this season. It's their 54th match in their history. They've won 13, drawn 14 and lost 26, and it's the first time that they face a club from either the League of Ireland or the Irish League. And the referee's whistle sounds. He gives a free kick to the visiting team, their number 26, Vijesko. Referee tonight is from Lithuania. Dundalk in trouble in Iceland. They're 3-1 down there against KA. That match taking place in Reykjavik. That's a half-time score. And Shamrock Rovers, well, a chastening defeat for them. They're 4-0 down against Ferencváros out in Budapest. That game's in the closing stages. So we've over 4 minutes played here at the Ryan McBride Brandywell Stadium. Derry City 0, Coops 0, and the Coops team lineup, which is -3 of their regular players, all defenders due to complications with their visas not getting sorted in time. Ball in towards the Derry City penalty area, knocked down here towards the edge of the D. Saarinen is in there. Now it's peeling down the right hand side as their number 33, who is Hamalainen, but Derry just struggling to get out right now as the Finns continue to boss possession here, and it's pass stroked across to Vichesko. He looks for the crossfield ball over to the far left hand side, just at the angle of the penalty area, and still the men from Finland keep hold of possession. Another match we're going to keep an eye out on tonight is that game between Basel from Switzerland and Tobol Kostanaya from Kazakhstan, because the winners of this tie will play the winners of that tie, and it's the side from Kazakhstan who are leading by 2-1, and Basel are down to 10 men. A lot of people expecting Basel to come through that one, but of course a lot of that is a long way down the road. It's finished in Budapest, by the way. Ferencváros have beaten Shamrock Rovers by 4-0, so they don't really need a second leg in Tala next week for that one. Ferencváros, who dropped down to the Europa Conference League, having lost their Champions League tie 3-0 to Klaksvik from the Faroe Islands at home last week. So bizarre combination of results there. We've played over 5 minutes here. Well, if anybody expected a cagey start, Liam, where both teams would suss each other out, we haven't really got that, because the Finns have started impressively.
Yeah, they really have. Very look, they're looking to kill this game up, to be quite honest. You look at the way they've lined out. They're more or less lined up by 3 up front, going on their 5 when they have it, and the 2 holding midfielders are just pushing on. They're just happy to let their ball patching float about there. There's no sitting holding midfielders, unlike last week where we seen Torshavn came, played 5 in the middle, 1 up front, just tried to stable there. This team here look a lot more confident, a lot more physical, anyhow, to say the least.
And they've got a free kick conceded by Jimmy McGonigal about 15 yards inside Derry's half. 6.5 minutes played, 0-0 the scoreline. Pretty much a full house here at the Brandywell. Seating only, of course, for a European tie. And it's going to be delivered in from their number 10, Tumen in, and it's gone all the way through the box, beyond everybody, and out to the safety of a Derry City goal kick, as Rory Higgins takes a slug of water down there at the edge of his technical area as he continues to assess the challenge facing him and the line out that his team are confronted with. Coops currently second in their domestic league, but their recent form coming into this game hasn't been all that hectic. Here's Derry now looking to come forward for the first time in this match with Michael Duffy. Michael Duffy looking to skip inside from the left wing past one player, doesn't get beyond a second, and now the Finnish team looking to bring this ball out. And they have a number 23 on their out on the pitch, who's listed as 32 in the team sheet, so that's Yengi, as their defender 38 Mittinen knocks it back to their goalkeeper, who is Cradle, the Austrian. He's been in the Finnish Premier League Team of the Year for the last 2 seasons. Cisse, Sichenzi and Ontwi are the 3 players that miss out tonight due to visa issues. They're also minus Popovic, and Vitali, who are both injured, both regular starters as well. So their manager has had to certainly go deep into his squad for this game here this evening. Yanni Honkavara, he's a former school teacher, now in his second spell in charge of Coops, having led them to the title in 2019, which was their most recent league success, having won the Finnish Championship on 6 occasions. That league title that he guided them to in 2019, their first top flight title since 1976. Yengi chases after this ball down the right hand side, just about keeps it in play. He's got McJanet and Ben Doherty for company. Ball kept in play on the right hand side here from Vichesco, and Brian Maher can't get across to that ball to prevent it from going out for a corner. We've played 10 minutes here on BBC Radio Foyle, BBC Sounds, also available on the BBC Sport NI website. Derry City 0, Coops 0, but it is the away team, the Scandinavians, who have taken this game to their hosts, and they've got themselves another corner here, which is going to be taken by Nisala in towards the near post, headed away by the Derry skipper Patrick McElhinney, knocked back into the box again. It's McElhinney required to clear it away, and Derry really need to try and get out here. Ball now is with Cradle, who's come a long way out of this own goal, launches it up towards the edge of the Derry box. Connolly is going to win the header, feels that he was fouled there as he jumped for that ball. Referee happy to let play continue, and Coops in possession with it again inside the Derry half. Doherty beaten to his man by Savalainen. Will be a throw in though for Derry as a pass goes stray, and Doherty will take the throw in level with his own penalty box. Didn't get much of a run in Europe last year with Larne when they were surprisingly dumped out of the competition by opposition from Gibraltar. St Joseph's prior to that, he was very much involved in some big nights with Coleraine as they got past Maribor on penalties, and took Motherwell to penalties as well. Cameron McJanet caught in possession. Yengi picks it up, and across comes Patrick McElhinney to bail out his centre back and his vice captain Big Style. Now Brandon Kavanagh. Derry look to break. McGonigal chasing after it. The Finns have enough back in defence. McGonigal waiting for the ball to drop. He's been pushed to the ground, has he? Match officials don't think so. Derry just get a throw in out of it.
Cameron McJanet, he's not going to get that sort of time there. If he thinks he's playing against Torshavn again last week, where you can get it down and bring it out, and it's the centre forward robs him. He nips it off twice, and then he goes into the box. And tell you what, there might have been a wee bit of contact there. Linesman was very fortunate for Derry that he didn't put the flag up, but that's Derry are not going to get that at the same time as they did last week.
Free kick for Derry is greeted with cheers here in the Mark Farren stand and across the way in the South End Park stand. They're also underway at Windsor Park. Linfield are taking on Pogoń Szczecin from Poland. That one's 0-0 as well. Derry with a shot from some distance, and the keeper has to make a save. Ben Doherty.
Oh, Ben Doherty, it was
a really ripping shot from Doherty from a good 25 yards out, and it certainly warmed the gloves of the Austrian goalkeeper.
Well, that's a really good save, Eric. It's come through a lot of bodies. It's Ben Doherty. He just waits. They think Derry's going to put it in the box. They all get in, plays a 1-2 with Dummigan, the Patrick McElhinney, and he just drops it off to Ben Doherty, who's just standing there, and as you say, about 25 yards out, right along the ground, and Cradle in the goal sees it lit and makes a really good save.
13 minutes played here. That's better. That's a bit more encouraging from the home team as Patrick McElhinney now gets on the ball. Linfield have fallen a goal behind to the pole, so Linfield trailing 1-0 there at Windsor Park, and Tobal Kostane from Kazakhstan have now gone 3-1 up away to Basel in Switzerland. The home team, remember, down to 10 men. Throw in over on the far side.
The linesman has actually flagged for a Derry throw on there, but the referee has overruled him and give it the Coops, but Derry he's give it back in now. But But that's better from Derry. They started getting in amongst them, started making a few challenges, and not letting them settle.
So a throw in this time is for Derry over on the far side of the pitch, about 15 yards inside the Coups half. And now they've got a free kick because Ronan Boyce has been fouled right on the far sideline. Very overcast evening here in Derry. Thick cloud up ahead. And free kick.
Well, they haven't it's the same again. Ben Doherty's just standing here. They haven't learned from their last mistake about it. Ben's just drifted over there and nobody picking him up.
Well, the referee having a few things to sort out with the Finnish players just standing a little too close as Derry want to get on with it and take this free kick. Quarter of an hour gone, scoreless in this first leg tie. Derry yet to concede a goal in Europe, having drawn 0-0 in Tórshavn and won 1-0 here. Patchin sends it in. Defender sends it out of play. It's going to be a throw-in. Bit closer this time to being level with the 18-yard line. So after that fast start from the Finns, which did produce one or two moments of concern and a scare in the Derry penalty area, the home side growing into the game a little bit more now. McElhinney flicks it in towards the pitch. There's a shot tipped on by the goalkeeper, and the Finns get it away, put it behind for a corner. It was Ronan Boyce with a really good effort, and Cradle this time has to come to Coop's rescue.
Oh, it's a really good effort there. It's well worked again. A nice wee tip in the box from McElhinney, and Ronan Boyce does well. Just sets it down, knows he can't get a challenge, and just flicks it, and the keeper's struggling, just got a fingertip that hit the bar.
Well, this feels like a proper cup tie now. Ben Doherty, in goes the corner kick. Ball drops for Boyce in the box. He's been dispossessed, and the Finns will bring it away. Well, in the last few minutes, Derry with two really good efforts, first from Ben Doherty and then from Ronan Boyce, their two fullbacks. But now at the other end, as the Finns look to break, there's a free kick and a yellow card is shown for Brandon Kavanagh.
Yep. I'll tell you what, they needed that, Eric, because they were under a bit of pressure there, and it's a great run down the side, just takes the pressure off Coups. And I think Brandon Kavanagh is left with no choice because he's going, the Coups players going past him and he's had to bring him down. But it's give the Finnish team a set piece here out on the left hand side now.
Pretty end to end right now. 17 minutes gone, 0-0, but chances at both ends. Remember, right at the start of this game, Coups hauling a well worked corner, and Tuminen had his effort blocked from Connolly. Here comes the corner kick. It's a low one, flicked on, only goes as far as McElhinney, who's happy to clear it and send it into the other half of the pitch. They've a reasonable pedigree in Europe over recent seasons as they attack down the right hand side here. The Finns put it towards the penalty area, and there was Cameron Dummigan, who just stuck out a boot, and it goes behind for another corner, and Patrick McElhinney's gone down here.
It looks as if he's holding his groin, Eric.
Inside the box. Well, this will be a worry for the management team. No call on yet though for the physio, which is at least a good sign. So McElhinney just taking a few seconds out, but he's going to get himself back on his feet again. But Derry with a corner kick to defend, and it will be an in-swinger once more from the left boot of Nisali, and the flick on has gone over the crossbar. So as I was saying, they've been playing quite a number of matches in Europe over the last couple of seasons. Coups, they reached the Europa League playoff stage as recently as 2020 when they were knocked out by Cluj They had to, of course, progress through 3 rounds to get to that stage of the competition, and they did it likewise again the following season when they reached the playoffs of the inaugural season of the Conference League. They lost to Union Berlin of Germany on that occasion, and then last season they exited the competition at the 3rd qualifying round, losing to Young Boys from Switzerland. So they've been regulars in Europe. There's a yellow card for the home team. One of their midfielders has just been cautioned, as Derry have got a free kick.
Well, he's just stopped a quick free kick.
Quickly, yeah.
So that's 2. That's a Derry player now and a Coops player on the book. So the referees, he started early.
I think it's their number 13, is it, who's picked up the yellow card. The free kick's been taken, and Derry get a corner kick out of it. Corner kick for Derry. Will Patching to take as he goes across to the far side. So Will Patching, the Englishman. Quite a number of corners that we've had at both ends in this game. In the first 20 minutes, Connolly and Cameron McJanet have made their way into the Coops penalty area. Jamie McGonigal and Patrick McElhinney looking to make life difficult for the goalkeeper in around the 6-yard box. In comes the corner kick, headed out here towards Brandon Kavanagh, clips it back towards the back post, headed back across goal. It goes over the top of the netting. Roland Boyce delivering the ball back across the goal.
It just wouldn't come down from McGonigal to back post there. It's a really good clip from Brandon Kavanagh, and does really well, Roland Boyce, because he's stretching to try and get it on target. Just doesn't get enough on it to bring it down. But look at Derry playing here tonight. Derry playing with energy, playing with pace. They look a different side. When they're on it and they're picking too many passes, you know, they're at it here tonight, and they're really giving this team a game now at the minute.
Well, we've got a really lively European tie on our hands right now as Brian Maher delivers this one out towards Ben Doherty. Here is Patching. It's going to be defended by Hamalainen, and back to their 27-year-old goalkeeper Cradle. Midway through the first half here, Derry win it back, and it's going to run through towards the visiting goalkeeper, who's in a light shade of green, as he releases the ball out to Tuvamaki up towards the halfway line. Looks to clip it into the path of Saarinen, but he's instead sent it out of play. So a throw in, which Cameron McJanet knocks back to his goalkeeper Maher, very quickly being closed down by Yengi. No time to dwell on it there for the City goalkeeper. The men in yellow have the ball back again now over on the far left hand side. Derry facing opposition from Finland for the first time in European competition. Of course, that victory over Tórshavn ensuring that they go through a round for the first time in Europe in 9 years. Now looking to go through 2 rounds, which they did in 2006 when they got past both Gothenburg and Gretna. Ben Doherty's touch required a little bit of further work from the defender, but it's played forward now towards McGonigal. He's sent it back into the midfield area where Will Patching loses out, and there's been a foul on Nisala, and that gives Coops a free kick midway inside the Derry half. 0-0, and the blonde-haired midfielder will prepare to deliver this ball into the penalty area. Oxenen is there as well. Derry with a two-man wall of Kavanagh and Duffy, and that one looks as if it's wasteful from the Finnish midfielder, high and wide of Brian Maher's right hand post. So Brian Maher, who has only conceded 19 goals in 27 games so far this season. Derry's clearance charged down. So a throw in for Derry's left back Ben Doherty, who had that terrific effort in this game, which forced the first save of the match from Cradle, which he had to follow up as well to keep Ronan Boyce out. 2 chances so far in this game for Derry. Scoreline remains 0-0. Ball shuffled back towards Hamalainen. About 20 to 30 supporters have travelled here from Coops, we've been informed. Positioned in Block A behind Cradle's goal away to our left-hand side, and we can see a couple of Finnish flags dripping over the railing. Ball headed down. Here's McGonigal, looks to clip it through towards Duffy. It's been defended though, and the Finns can bring it away. McGonigal comes across to make a block, which has got some of the crowd here in the Mark Farren stand out of their seats.
That's what you have to do in Europe, Eric, to get the crowd, because you're not going to have the ball the way you have it in League Ireland games. So to get the crowd going, maybe it has to be a tackle or a block, and so far McGonigal's made a couple of really good interceptions, and you know, he's working extremely hard.
25 minutes gone. Derry City 0, Coops 0 in this Europa Conference League second round qualifier first leg. Referee is speaking to Yengi, the frontman for the Finns. Crusaders 1, Rosenborg 0 at Seaview. So a great start there for Stephen Baxter's men at Seaview. That game an 8 o'clock kickoff. Now Derry have just kicked that ball straight out of play.
Maher, unlike him, Eric.
So a throw in for the visiting team. Earlier Shamrock Rovers beaten 4-0 against Ferencváros. Saarinen with a throw in.
I think we're seeing the beginnings of the end for this Shamrock Rovers team, Eric.
Well, it's been a horrendous European campaign for them, that's for sure. Ball comes out here to Tuominen at the edge of the penalty area, quickly closed down by Dummigan, shifts it on over to the far left hand side, coming down side of the penalty area. Boyce sticking as tight to his man as he possibly can as he tries to manoeuvre his way inside the penalty area. Still the Finns have it in towards the penalty area. Doherty tucks in from the left back position to head the ball away, comes up here towards McGonigal. Nice couple of touches from McGonigal, could get Duffy away down this left hand side, but he's quickly closed down. But Derry keep hold of the ball, and now Patrick McElhinney has it in the midfield area as he crosses the halfway line. Duffy has it once again now. 2 players getting very close to him, limiting his options, and well, we've seen Tórshavn defenders double up on him as well in the first leg. He'll be well used to that sort of attention, will Michael Duffy. Part of a couple of the Dundalk teams, of course, that went to the group stages of European competition. Here is Mark Conley now, just making his 3rd appearance in Europe. Lovely ball to pick out Duffy down the left hand side. Duffy tees it up for Doherty to whip in the cross, and it's come off the head of the Finnish defender last. It wasn't going to go behind for a corner because Cradle had managed to grab hold of the ball, but you're right, Liam, the Coops defender is down. The referee's whistle had already sounded, and that will be a free kick in the visiting penalty box. 28 minutes gone here, 0-0, and he's going to require some medical attention.
Got a high boot to the head there just there.
Yeah. Well, what's your take on it so far, Liam?
I'll tell you what, like you thought the first 10 minutes this team were just going to steamroller Derry and, you know, really have a go at them. Once Derry get settled down and started getting it down, especially in the middle of the field where they made a couple of wee adjustments. They pushed Dummigan on, stopped getting the ball under the big centre forward's feet and playing off him. Derry have now played themselves back into the match. Like, Coops have created very little. They look dangerous going forward, but as I said, they haven't created none, and Derry are well holding their own at the minute.
Well, both teams have now assembled around their coaches, or certainly the majority of the players anyhow, for this first sort of water break that we have in the game. 28 and a half minutes played, 0-0 it remains. Derry hoping to progress through in Europe. So far they have banked €550,000 in European earnings. Whichever team goes on to the third qualifying round will be guaranteed a further €300,000 payday, which would take the earnings up to $850,000. So these are high stake games. As the ball comes off Ben Doherty last and out for a throw in, we have resumed here again at the Brandywell. Half an hour gone on the clock, and Coop's just waiting to get Tovo Maki back on the pitch again. Meanwhile, they've got a throw in down here with Saarinen, who's a new signing for them this year from FC Haka, who were also in Europe, or before they got knocked out. Here's Patrick McElhinney, somehow finds room to find Michael Duffy. Really close control from Duffy. Derry have done well to keep hold of the ball here, and now Patching goes down the left hand side, just tries to drag the ball in with his right boot, gets a throw in out of it. Derry with possession midway inside the opposition's half. Well, we've had a fairly frenetic opening half an hour here, it has to be said, and this is with Dummigan now. Boyce peels away to the right hand side to make the option. Instead he goes back to Connolly. Connolly's long ball picks out Duffy on the left side. Doherty making the overlapping run. Here is Doherty now, tried to drill it in towards the penalty area, but blocked by the defender who was nearby. Connolly communicating with his goalkeeper Maher here. Not the most convincing of clearances from Maher, but I don't think Derry's under any real immediate threat as a result of it, but it's picked up now by Tuominen over on the left hand side, one of their real danger men. Actually played his part in helping Finland qualify for the last European Championships. Scored in their 3-0 win against Liechtenstein, but he missed the finals then himself due to injury. Ball back with Cradle. That was the Euros back in 2021. Now it's with Hämäläinen, the centre back, wearing number 38. Off they go over on the left hand side. Ball cut in field for Nisali. And here they drive forward up towards the edge of the Derry City penalty area. They work it down the left hand side, but what a perfectly timed challenge from Michael Duffy.
Brilliant from Duffy.
Over in the right back position.
Well, Duffy lost it in the middle there. Like, he came in to try and they won the ball, and he lost it, and then he made a run 50-60 yards to try and get the ball back again, and does that right inside his box.
Derry win themselves a free kick, which Ronan Boyce, the Donegal man, will take way over in that right touchline. 33 minutes played. Derry City 0, Coops 0, and it's just gone a little bit quiet here at the Brandywell. Ball into the edge of the D, and Connolly to Doherty. Doesn't get much time on the ball. Been very quickly closed down by the Finns. That time it was Savolainen, capped twice for his country, gets the block in. Derry throw in, which Ben Doherty will take midway inside his own half. Well, there's a lot of yellow shirts inside that Derry half as he looks to take the throw in. Hämäläinen hammers it up towards the edge of the box. Cameron McJanet underneath it. Savolainen heads it towards the edge of the penalty area. Now it's going to be brought under control by Tuvo Maki, and in a chase to keep the ball in play over on the far side is Nisali, which he has managed to do, and he's on the ball once again now. Pass down the left hand side over on the far touchline, looking to work the ball in field, but Derry working extremely hard. Now it's up to Yengi. Back now to Tuminen. Yengi again loses his footing. Referee says nothing unfair about that, and Derry get it away and kick it deep into the Coups half. And it's back with their goalkeeper, Cradle. 63 minutes gone in Iceland, where Dundalk continue to trail by 3-1. Remember, St Patrick's Athletic went out in the first round. Shamrock Rovers went out, or are heading out, you would feel, in this second round. Dundalk in a bit of trouble in Iceland, so performances so far from the League of Ireland clubs, nothing much to write home about.
No. Disappointing this year, to be honest, Derek. Derry looks as if it's going to be their best hope of keeping the team from the league on.
Now we've got 10 minutes to go until half time. Remember, Crusaders are winning 1-0 at home to Rosenborg. The winners of that tie will play Hearts in the third qualifying round. And their Edinburgh neighbours were on the wrong end of a shock earlier this afternoon. Hibs, who were beaten 2-1 against Inter Escalde in Andorra, but they do have the return leg at home next week to try and turn it around. Here, Derry will be looking to try and take a lead to Finland next week, next Thursday night. Now it's with Kavanagh, moves the ball forward quickly to Jamie McGonigal. Return pass from McGonigal doesn't come off. Then it's Tuminen looking to create something for the Finns. It'll be a throw in down the right hand side here. Oxenen is going to take it 20 yards from the corner flag in front of the Mark Farren stand. Throw in into Yengi inside the penalty area, and he's got a corner kick out of it.
Doesn't he, Eric? He's a handful.
Tete Yengi, who's Australian. Not a good result for their national team in the Women's World Cup earlier today, beaten 3-2 by Nigeria, co-hosts of course, Australia of the Women's World Cup, so they're in trouble of being eliminated from the group stages. Here's a corner kick now for Nisali, takes it short to Oxenen, and defensive header from Boyce. Feels he should have got a shout from his goalkeeper. Yep. Well, and it's a corner kick.
I think Mark Conley was about to have a go at Ronan Boyce, but then he realised it's Brian Maher's job to tell him Ronan Boyce has done the right thing. He's not sure who's behind him, so he's just headed it out, and Mark Conley was about to have a go at him, and then he realised that's the keeper's job. He sees it.
So corner kick to Coups on the far side, playing towards the Brandywell Showgrounds in the first half here. 0-0. Again they play it short. Nisali making himself available, and clipped in towards the penalty area. Duffy having to stoop very low this time to make the defensive header, and then Brandon Kavanagh just volleys it clear up into the almost vacant half of the Coups pitch. Just their goalkeeper.
Well, it's the first real drop in energy levels we've seen from Derry, Eric. They've worked that hard to try and stop Coups from playing through the middle and closing people down. You can just see now all of a sudden players aren't just making up the yards the way they were, and they're just dropped off a wee bit.
Derry 3-0 winners over Athlone Town on Sunday, and the draw for the second round was made on Monday evening. It's another home draw, 6th time in succession in fact that Derry have received a home draw in the FAI Cup, but it will be an all Premier Division tie, with St Patrick's Athletic providing the opposition. So that's a repeat of the 2006, 2012 and 2014 FAI Cup finals, and undoubtedly the tie of the round. Those ties should be played on the week ending of August the 20th. On which particular day will depend on Derry's progress or not in Europe. Linfield with an uphill task in their European tie against Pogoń from Poland, because they're now 2-0 down at Windsor Park. No away fans, remember, allowed in that game. Coopsfield should have a free kick. Referee allowing play to continue. Patrick McElhinney rolls it to Duffy, who has to settle for a throw in. 6 minutes to go before half time. 0-0. Is there a goal in this tie before the break? Duffy, 10 yards from the corner flag, leaves for the throw in to be taken by Ben Doherty, the 26-year-old son of former Derry City FAI Cup winning captain Eamon, of course. Throws it to Duffy to Patching. It's all a bit tight down there, and it has come off clipped the boot of Patching last, so throw in goes the way of the visiting team. 0-0 the score remains. It's a tense evening here. Throw in up towards Yengi, drops invitingly in towards the path of Patrick McElhinney. Had a look up ahead of him.
Yeah, you just see Patrick looking for somebody to shoulder him, and then he had to turn back because nobody.
He's on the ball again. This time he's given it away just inside his own half, and now Savalainen will attack down the right hand side. Nisili lets it run through to Tomainen. Still the Finns with the ball inside the box, but that's really good defending from Ronan Boyce, and then he's just fouled over close towards the corner flag, and he wins his team a free kick.
Goes well.
He's had a lot to do, Ronan Boyce, in this opening 40 minutes.
I'll tell you what,
at both ends.
It's going to be a long 45, because them energy levels, you're not going to. You can see some of the Derry players just starting to drop off a bit now, so they try and keep that level up for 90 minutes is going to be near impossible, but Coops are fighting it hard to break them down.
Well, Brian Maher will take the free kick. The Dubliner. Ball won in the air by the Finnish defender, but he knocks it out of play for a throw-in. We'll bring you up to date during half-time with the latest from the Super Cup NI. Of course, tomorrow the finals day and the conclusion of the elite section. Jim Sanford, the Super Cup NI PRO, will be joining us live on the programme. And as well as that, we'll bring you some of the colour and the voices from the week that it's been at the World GA Games, which have been taking place at Owenbeg in Dungiven. Here's Ben Doherty, and after the final whistle tonight, Kevin Derry will be joining us for some post-match analysis. He knows a thing or two about scoring a goal in Europe, of course. You can say that. Two
35-year-old flukes are.
You can say that to him, Liam, when he joins us live on the programme. That's the two matches of the two goals, of course, against Gretna at Motherwell's Fir Park back in 2006. I'll tell you one goal that was a fluke was the one here against CSKA Sofia. When the
two against Gretna were two of the best goals you'll ever see.
Stunning free kicks. McJanet under a bit of pressure here from Yengi, but he's sorted himself out and has got it back to Brian Maher. That 1-1 draw against CSKA Sofia was in the 2009 UEFA Cup. Derry lost 1-0 out there. Here's the Finns inside the penalty area. Danger here perhaps for Derry. They tee it up, try to get towards Yenga. Still Nisali aiming for a handball, and the referee has pointed to the spot. Mark Connolly adjudged to have blocked it with his arm, and the Lithuanian referee has pointed to the penalty spot right on the stroke of half time, and a yellow card for Mark Connolly.
You've got to give the referee credit. He's right on the spot there, and you can see Connolly's going down holding his head as if he got it in the face, so the referee knows. But it's a long ball to start with, catches them out, and then they're on the defensive, comes back out in the shot, then Connolly.
So a chance for the Finns to take the lead here in the last minute of the first half at the Brandywell Showgrounds end. The referee having a long discussion here with Brian Maher. He's saved the last penalty that Derry conceded here at the Brandywell against Shelburne a couple of weeks ago. Can he be the hero here for Derry? It's a crucial moment in this tie, right on the stroke of half time, and they score. The Finns hit the front. Vicesco sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, rolls it into the back of the net, and right on the cusp of half time, it's Derry City 0, Coops 1, and a penalty means the Finns hit the front here in the first leg.
Well, you can see, Eric, there's only 1 minute or injury time as well too, Eric. You can just see the last 10 minutes or so, Derry just starting to drop off, weren't getting tight, and they've lost the ball a couple of times in the middle of the field, have allowed Coops just to get in behind for the first time in the match, and that's what happens. I'm trying to keep that energy level up for so long when you're trying to go the other way as well to create. It's difficult, and they find themselves now in a tricky situation.
So the first goal that Derry City concede in Europe this season is a penalty. Mark Connolly's handball from I think it was Nieseli's attempt on goal, and then the penalty stroked home by Vicesco, and it gives the away team now a massive advantage in this tie. Of course, away goals don't count, but they find themselves 1-0 in front as the referee blows the half-time whistle, and the big talking point, Liam Foyle, coming right at the end of the first half. And up to that point, full credit for Derry's performance, but they go in a goal down at the break.
Well, they're playing against a better quality side than Derry. There's no doubt about it. Derry have raised their game, but you can see that as the game in the first half was wearing on, Coops were getting stronger while Derry were starting to vault a bit under the pressure, especially in the middle of the field, not up front, because they didn't really create anything. But when you're losing possession in there as much as Derry were near the end, then they're always going to have chance. But it was a really good penalty. Says Brian Maher the wrong way, but Derry have had their chances. Ben Doherty's had a great effort, and Ronan Boyce has hit the bar with one, so there is chances there. They just got to come out and play with the same energy again.
Boos predictably for the referee as he makes his way down the tunnel, but you were in no doubt that he called it correctly.
Well, I look at the rest of the Derry players, Eric. There was nobody even had words with the referee. You can see Mark Connolly's went down as if he was hitting the fist, so straight away the referee is right on the spot. He's seen it, so you've got to look at him and say, right, well, you've got that right, because if he had been 20-30 yards away and he's making the decision, then you would say, no, well, he didn't really have a good view of it, but he seems to have had a good view of it, and unfortunately for Derry, he's given a penalty.
And a big moment in this tie, and a real blow to Derry right on the stroke of half time. It's Derry City who trail Coops from Finland by 1-0. Oren.
The Derry City team just emerging from the tunnel below us. We'll give you some of the other scores from across Europe involving the local sides tonight. Ferencváros of Hungary absolutely hammered the League of Ireland champions Shamrock Rovers. That game, Eric said earlier, they might need a second leg. It certainly doesn't look that way, because it finished 4-0 to the Hungarian side. Seagull, Ramirez, Traore and Varga with the goals. Dundalk, they're trailing trailing 3 goals to 1 actually in Iceland against Cagliari. It was Bjarni and Hoxton on the double. Dara Leahy had equalised for the Lily Whites, but they do trail 3 goals to 1. Not going so well for Linfield at Windsor Park. Iller, the Danske Bank Premiership side, are trailing Pogoń of Poland by 2 goals to 0. It's Groski with goals on 13 and 38 minutes, and Crusaders, also of the Danske Bank Premiership, they have just fell behind against Rosenborg, the Norwegian side. The goals there coming from Hols and Seeker in 42 minutes. They're approaching half time. That one, of course, was an 8 p.m. kick-off. The two teams almost ready to go, going through their last few warm-ups. Just I think one of this big striker for Coops is just maybe eking the last few minutes out of it. Liam, penalty just before half time. Liam Coyle, the former Derry City striker, I mean, it's probably the worst possible thing can happen.
Well, it was going on at half time, all square. All they played for second half. Now you would think Derry now need to come out a bit more, which might play into Coop's hands, because they caused them a few problems near the end of the first half, especially not in the box really, but in space in the middle of the field. So if Derry open up a bit more, that could be their downfall. Just
about to get back underway for the second half. Let's cross to your commentary team of course, Liam Coyle. But first of all, Eric White.
Thank you very much, Oren. And Yengi is the last player to enter the pitch to make his way out for the start of the second half here, and it is Derry who get the contest restarted, playing from left to right in this second half, playing towards the Brandywell Showgrounds end in their red shirts, black shorts and white socks, and Coops, who lead by 1 goal to 0 in their bright yellow shirts, white shorts and yellow socks. Quick rundown on the two teams. No changes at half time. So Derry City with Maher in goal, Boyce, Connolly, McJanet and Doherty, Dummigan, Patrick McElhinney, Patching, Brandon Kavanagh, Duffy and McGonigal. And for Coops, they have Cradle in goal, their back four of Saarinen, Tuvamaki, Hamalainen and Maitonen. In midfield it's Oxenen, Nisali and Vichesco, and up front Tuminen, Savolainen and Yengi. And there's been 1 yellow card issued to a player in each team. Brandon Kavanagh cautioned for Derry City, and Oxenen, the midfielder for Coops. Liam, how does Rory Higgins turn this tie around now in the second half, do you think? You feel that they cannot go to Finland behind in this tie?
No. Well, they can't go behind 2. And if it goes to 2, then the tie is over. They've got to stay on this half as long as they can. You can just see Coops now, they're just trying to hold on to the ball, just try and draw Derry out. So Derry have got to be brave. They've got to go and take a few chances, push a few bodies forward, put them under pressure, because at the minute Coops will be happy enough the way things are going.
Some of the dignitaries sitting just down in front of us, making their way back into position again for the start of this second half.
You don't see all these dignitaries when they're playing Longford and
Athlone,
having a go at them.
Everybody's entitled to their night out, Liam.
Nights.
That's what these European occasions are all about. That's what gets the adrenaline pumping inside this famous old stadium here in the Lone Moor Road. But Derry with work to do. That penalty just before half time, and let's not forget the chances that Derry had in the game, particularly in the opening 15-20 minutes. Ronan Boyce saw his looping effort ultimately come off the crossbar. Ben Doherty's strike forced Cradle into a save before that. So the signs have been there too for the Candy Stripes, and McElhinney has just administered a beautiful pass through to Brandon Kavanagh. Duffy now cross it towards that penalty area, and a glancing header just goes the wrong side of the post for the man who was involved in the move earlier, Brandon Kavanagh.
Yeah, that all starts with Patrick McElhinney, not just playing it sidewards and backwards and keep the ball. He just sees out the opening, and Kavanagh finds himself in that pocket just in between the midfield and defenders. plays it on the Patchin. Patchin lays it out wide. Ben Doherty puts a really good ball on them, and Kavanagh follows his run on, but just can't get the power on it and heads it wide.
Here's Cradle. The Austrian sends it into Derry half. Header won by Tuominen, sent back up for Jimmy McGonigal here, who's got 3 yellow shirts around him. He's done well to hold his ground and feed a pass to Brandon Kavanagh. And now here is Cameron McJanet being closed down by Yengi, but the ball just runs away then from the Australian, and Connolly can ush it back to his goalkeeper Maher. That's just a couple of times now in this game that Cameron McJanet has nearly been caught out. And this time the ball's come off Yengi's arm. Free kick for Derry.
Yengi's clever. Like he knows that McJanet's trying to get it down and playing, and he's just waiting on him. They played at the last minute, and then he's just nipping in and just nicking it off him and closing him down. And I'm sure Rory Higgins' heart's in his mouth every time he does it.
Full time in Iceland. Dundalk have been beaten by KA by 3-1. So they obviously have the second leg to come at Oriel Park next week, but Dundalk with a bit of work to do as well there, more than a bit of work to do. Of course, they drew 0-0 out in Gibraltar in the first leg of their first round match, and then won the home leg, but 2 goals to try and make up there. Boyce whips one into the Finnish penalty box, headed away by Savolainen. Comes out now for Patrick McElhinney. Now the Derry City bench tonight, which Rory Higgins may look to, but before we come to that, there's a shot coming in from Brandon Kavanagh, and it's the goalkeeper Cradle who gets down low to make the save.
Never really threatened America, to be honest, but that's better from Derry, putting the pressure on up around the box and getting second balls. That's what they're going to have to do, you know, and don't let them play out.
Flag is up. Offside.
What we always say about Derry when they're playing teams, first one goal is never enough in any game. So while it's 1-0, Derry's still in the game.
Kieran Cole, Paul McMullen, Diallo, Shane McElhinney, Danny Mullen, Jordan McAniff, Adam O'Reilly, Cian Kavanagh, all among the substitutes tonight. Tag Ryan, Jack Lemoynihan, the reserve goalkeepers. Adam O'Reilly back in the squad. He's been serving an accumulation really of suspensions.
The longest suspension.
Well, his red card in their league game against Shelbourne was very unfortunate timing, because it put him out of their next 2 domestic games, and he already knew he had a 2-game European ban to serve, having been red carded for his previous club St Patrick's Athletic in Europe last season against CSK Sofia, when he was sent off towards the end of that tie. So he'll be chomping at the bit, won't he? They take the free kick quickly. Duffy's chasing after it, and out comes Cradle just to get there to the ball first, ahead of the former Celtic man.
That's a great ball. It's a great run from Duffy.
Tuominen. Well, Ben Doherty had to make sure he cut that ball out. Here's Patrick McElhinney. Good footwork again from the Chantalo man. Now he's got it out wide on the left-hand side to Duffy. Duffy checks his run, allows the Finnish player though to pick up possession. Then Ben Doherty's in there, energetic as ever, but has played forward for Yengi. Now they shifted over here to the left-hand side, but they've delayed on that pass, and it's allowed Dummigan to wrestle possession back here for Derry. Brandon Kavanagh looks for the crossfield pass. Cradle's come a long way out to collect this one, which he does commandingly out towards the edge of his penalty area. 1-0 Coups lead, 8 minutes played in the second half. Here on BBC Radio Foyle and BBC Sounds. Europa Conference League football coming to you live on this Thursday night here from the Ryan McBride Brandywell Stadium, as the crowd try to crank up the noise a bit. They know their team's going to have to produce something special to turn this tie around. Here's Patrick McElhinney now, but while they're only 1 goal behind, they're right in there with a chance. Duffy though has left the ball behind him, and the Finns play it up forward to Yengi, but
better from
his
Derry.
touch lets him down.
Well, that's better from Derry. Like, they're closing down higher up the field, which is not allowing. It's not allowing Coop to play it out from the back, and then they're running second balls, especially Cameron Dummigan's just playing a bit higher up the field there now, and he's picked up a few balls, and it's allowed Duffy and McElhinney to get on it more.
Ball hooked into the south end stand. Derry throw in. Duffy's going to leave it for Doherty to take. No, he decides to get on with it himself. Throws it to his former Dundalk teammate Patrick McElhinney. Dummigan now sprays a pass out on this right hand side for Boyce, who hit the woodwork in the first half. Connolly, the man who gave away the penalty. McElhinney, one touch football. Boyce comes into it 25 yards out from goal. Kavanagh has to give a little jump just to bring the ball under control, and McElhinney pass does not find Kavanagh, and it is with the away team. Boyce doesn't deal with it enough. Tuminen can't take advantage, and Boyce retrieves the situation before McJanet is able to shovel that one back to his goalkeeper Brian Maher, who's got to very quickly get it out from underneath his feet. Now their number 22 Tuvo Maki, centre half for the Finns, into the midfield area to Vichesko with those orange boots, the scorer from the penalty spot right before half time, the only goal that is the difference in this tie. Here is Hämäläinen. 10 minutes played in the second half, and the Finns just happy to knock the ball about, bringing their goalkeeper into play on several occasions. Now they go long over the top. The chase is on. Yengi moves into the centre of the penalty area, and that's surely a foul on Ben Doherty outside the Derry penalty area. It'll be a free kick. Maher, is he going to get away with taking it from there? He is, as he looks to take it quickly, but the options weren't quite on for him. And Derry have 5 players warming up down to our right hand side, trailing by 1-0 in what has been a disappointing night so far for League of Ireland sides in Europe. Shamrock Rovers beaten 4-0, Dundalk beaten 3-1, both away. Linfield giving themselves renewed hope in their tie at Windsor Park. They've pulled a goal back against Pogoń Szczecin from Poland, so they now trail 2-1 in that game. Danny Finlayson looks as if he's got the goal. Remember, Crusaders at half-time 2-1 down against Rosenborg from Norway, despite leading 1-0 in that tie at Seaview. Here is Nisala, the Finnish international who won the penalty.
Yeah, looks a good player, Eric.
Wearing number 10. All number 10s are good players,
yes.
Aren't they, Liam? Here
well,
is
really cool. You can see he's really comfortable on it and keeps it simple when he has to in the end. Jakes that pace on it when he has to.
Domestic action in the League of Ireland Premier Division continues tomorrow night, while some clubs are distracted by their involvement in Europe, but Bohemians at home to UCD tomorrow night. They could move to within a point of Derry City if they were to win that game. Cork City at home to Shelbourne. Ball lifted into the Derry penalty area, gathered by Brian Maher. And Drogheda United versus Sligo Rovers. Bows Declan Devine handed a relatively straightforward draw, you would think, in the cup, at home to Rockmount from Cork, the FAI Intermediate Cup champions. UCD at home to Galway, Cork at home to Waterford, Munster Derby there, just picking out some of the other ties involving the Premier Division teams. Drogheda away to Kerry and Dundalk away to Bray. That draw made earlier this week. Remember, on Sunday you can catch full coverage of the All-Ireland Senior Football Final between Kerry and Dublin live on BBC 2 and the BBC iPlayer throw-in at Croke Park 3:30. Here we have played 13 minutes of this second half. Derry trailing Coops by 1-0. And the winners of this two-legged tie will be playing either Basel from Switzerland or Tobol Kostane of Kazakhstan. And earlier that game finished 3-1 to the side from Kazakhstan. Here's Jimmy McGonigal inside the box, takes on the shot straight at the goalkeeper. Derry are preparing to bring on Danny Mullen.
Yeah, just need a spark from somewhere. Coops have just been, they're more comfortable on it now. They're happy enough with a 1-0, not really committing too many men forward, and Derry are just struggling to get the ball at them.
Sorry, I should say it's Paul McMullen. It's the other new Scottish signing that is coming on. Their number 12, the right winger. So the first change from Murray Higgins on the hour mark pending. Here's Yenge, releases it to Nisali, drops the ball in towards the penalty area. Savalainen back to Yenge. Has he got a shot on him? He takes it, and Maher pushes it the other side of the post. Big save, tremendous save from Brian Maher to keep Derry in this tie.
Yeah, it's a brilliant save, Eric. It's well worked again. It's Yenge starts it, Eric. He lays it off. Then it's just a ball at the back post. They play it on. This Yenge just carries his run forward, and you think he's going to go far post, but he nearly catches Maher, and that's why it's a really, really good save, because it's high in the top corner and taps it over the bar for a corner. But Brian Maher keeps his team on it.
Great agility from the Dubliner keeps this tie at 1-0 to Coops from the city of Kuopion in eastern Finland. Referee feels they're taking too much time here, does he, with their corner kick? Well, he's just a warning. Demonstrated quite clearly to everybody inside the ground. In comes the in-swinger. They look for the little flick on, and then the effort goes wide of the target.
I think they're a bit early for...
Here's the change.
I think they're a bit early yet for wasting time. Like, we've still got an hour, over 120 minutes they play yet in this tie, so...
Well, Brendan Kavanagh, who brought the last save out of the Coops goalkeeper Creedle, has come off. He's exited the pitch around behind Brian Maher's goal, and on comes Paul McMullen, who started the game on both legs against Torshavn. Patrick McElhinney, Derry with that long crossfield pass to Ronan Boyce. Boyce slips it down the wing. McMullen straight away in action, and Hamalainen is there guarding the edge of his 6-yard box to cut out the attack. Dummigan flicks it on. Duffy brings it under control now with his chest. Smoke rising from one of the houses beyond the South End Park stand in the distance. Derry look for a free kick. They're not getting it. I should emphasise it's coming out of the chimney, so nothing to be concerned about. Here is Patrick McElhinney. Applause for Brandon Kavanagh as he makes his way around here to the home dugout. 62 minutes gone. Derry looking for an equalising goal, and they've got a player down needing some treatment.
Patching, yep. He's down in that challenge. I think he's just went over and had his back, Eric, as he's went down. It's not a free kick, or referee's done the right thing. It's a good tackle, but he's whatever way he's went over the challenge.
So a break in play, and Brian Maher has come all the way over to the technical area here. He's looking for a bottle of water. So Patching has to receive treatment. The second half is underway at Seaview, about 5 minutes old now. Crusaders 2-1 behind at home to Rosenborg, and that's the same scoreline for Linfield, who are trailing by 2-1 earlier today at the Women's World Cup. Australia beaten 3-2 by Nigeria. USA and Netherlands, two of the competition's heavyweights, slugging out a 1-1 draw, and Portugal, they were 2-0 winners against Vietnam. And if you want your fix tomorrow morning, well, at 1 a.m. Argentina are playing South Africa. At a more reasonable hour, England take on Denmark. That one's at 9:30. And China against Haiti is at 12 o'clock. Patching is back on his feet again. he will be able to continue in the League of Ireland First Division. I give the Premier Division fixtures a short while ago. Finn Harps there away to Kerry, as Linfield have now gone 3-1 behind to the Poles. So a glimmer of hope for Linfield just seems to have been extinguished in terms of their chances of getting back into that game, trailing now by 2 goals. Ball in towards the penalty area, neat little flick on for McGonigal, just didn't find his way towards McMullen, but he's got the ball at his feet again. McMullen, right angle of the penalty area, dances his way inside the box, goes towards the byline, cuts it back. Goalkeeper wanted it, but Hamanainen took charge of it, and he sends it up towards the halfway line, and it does in fact go out of play. 65th minute of the game. Derry City trailing Coops by a 1-0 in this first leg tie. Here is Cameron Dummigan. Derry's next league involvement will be away to UCD on Sunday, August the 6th. That game being moved from the usual Friday night slot because Derry will be in Finland next Thursday night. Oh, McGonigal just trying to get patching away there.
Well, Derry have come and did a wee bit again, Eric. Coops were in control. Derry now have just started. I think McMullen coming on has just given the wee injection of pace, especially down the right hand side.
And well, they may look for further reinforcements. Derry, a lot of activity down around the bench there, but subs just returning. But what we are seeing is we're going to see a double substitution coming here from the home team. Jake Jervis, who is their English frontman, striker originally from Wolverhampton, he's going to come on, and so too is their number 11 Lambinen. So a double change from their manager Honkavara, their 47-year-old coach. Previously had a coaching role, a coach education role with the Finnish FA in between his 2 stints as manager here of Coops, who are second in their Finnish Premier League, 3 points behind the league leaders with a game more played. They've only won once in their last 5 games. So
I'll have to say, like, even though we were talking about Coops missing 3 of their
visa issues that have prevented them from entering the country,
it hasn't really affected them, to be quite honest. Just offensively they've been very, very good.
Derry are going to bring Cian Kavanagh on as well. Ball meanwhile is brought under control by Timonen looking to get away from Ronan Boyce, who's trying to stay as tight to him as possible. Yenge, who possibly might be about to come off, but there's a little tug there at McMullen. Referee allows play to continue. It could be a good advantage. Patching trying to release it towards McGonigal, and across comes Hammanen just to take charge of the situation. And we're going to see the changes take place now. Yes, we are. So it's the first 2 are for Coops, and it's Jervis is coming on for Savolainen. And well, he's out. And then the second change is Lampinen coming on for it's Tuominen is the player that is coming off. So that's the double change from Coops. They're naturally taking as long as they can about it, and Cian Kavanagh just receiving some last few instructions from the city manager Rory Higgins, as he is not yet going to make his way onto the pitch for some reason or another. Just going to have to hold off for now. Derry take the throw in. Boyce takes it infield here for Dummigan. Hammanen gets it away. Not all that great of a clearance then from the goal scorer Bachesco, and now it's a first touch for Lampinen. Dummigan picks up a bit of a knock there as he gets to the ball first. Back now for Connolly to McMullen. McMullen races away from his marker, goes down the right side of the pillar, whips the ball towards the box, and there's an equalising goal, and it's 1 apiece.
Kane with a big goal in this European tie. Brings everybody inside the Brandywell to their feet. The perfect cross was met by the perfect header, and Patching steered it low into the bottom corner of the net. And Derry right back in this tie. 69 minutes gone. It's Derry City 1, Coops 1.
Well, Paul McMullen, since he's come on here, he's got down that side 2 or 3 times, and that there's really positive play here. The number 11 has come on for Coops, not up to speed of the game. It's actually Cameron Dummigan wins the ball on there, not for the first time, and it comes down here to McMullen. He gets at the fullback, puts a great ball on the boxing. No harm to Coops, but I tell you what, Paul Patching standing on his own, nobody marking him, but it's a really good header. Has to generate the power on it, heads it down to the keeper's left hand side, gets a hand on it, but goes in. But out of nowhere, Derry have just got a goal here.
So we're all level in this European tie. What a roar as that ball nestled in the back of the net, and we've still 20 minutes to play here. City 1, Coops 1. Derry have made the change, I'm pretty sure they have. Yes, Cian Kavanagh has come on. Jimmy McGonigal makes way, and the noise levels have been cranked up here considerably. Can Derry now go and win this leg of this tie and take a lead to Finland? Here the Finns come forward. That ball has gone out of play. The goal just coming after Coops made that double substitution.
Well, Cameron Dummigan has been excellent second half here. He's just putting himself in there, getting himself into positions where he can close people down. And the thing about it was he's picked up an injury and he's still limping away. I don't know if he's going to see out this second half, but he's the one that's just injected that wee bit into Derry's play that's allowed them. I'll tell you what, Derry can win this game now.
Well, that would be a huge turnaround. Ball back towards Cradle. It'll certainly test the metal off the Finns, and the crowd capitalising, lifted by that mistake there from the goalkeeper, or his clearance, which he put it out into the stand. Here's Patrick McElhinney. He's having a look at goal, and a shot gathered by Cradle, who gets down close towards his post. Another change coming here from the visiting team. They're going to bring on Gabriel Bispo, their number 19, about to come on. Linfield now trailing 4-1 at Windsor Park. Here's McElhinney to McMullen. Well, Leesley wraps his foot around the ball, gets it away from McMullen. Referee says that was fair play. Allows play to continue back towards the Austrian goalkeeper, beaten by that Patching header. It's 1 each here on Radio Foyle. We have 18 minutes left to play. Second leg in Finland next Thursday night. Bispo about to come on for the Finns, but they are on the attack as it stands. Here is Yengi. Well, he's still got the ball, but not for long. Derry turf it away.
Well, what Derry don't want to do now, it's not do what they done last week against Terscheven and start dropping. They want to keep going forward, picking the game to them.
It's Vijesco is coming off the scorer of the Coops penalty just before half time, so Bispo is on. He's a Brazilian midfielder, and he comes on for the last 17 minutes of this away leg. Oh, here's a chance for Kavanagh. Kavanagh still looking to get the shot away. Kavanagh, great save by the goalkeeper, and it bounces around inside the 6-yard box, and Coops scramble it away. Well, it was all came from a huge defensive error, but now Coops looking to break here. They have a player down hurt. Well, Cian Kavanagh, he just couldn't get the ball out from underneath his feet to get the shot away, and that was mighty close to Derry maybe going 2-1 up here. But as it stands, here is The break on now for Coops. Great tracking back from Duffy. Danger not away yet. Ball still inside the penalty area. Mishit shot in towards Jarvis, and then shot from Nisali is fired over the bar. You dare not take your eyes off this one just now.
It's like a basketball game at the minute, Eric, isn't it? You have a goal, we'll have a goal.
And it's 1-1.
Well, after me singing Croops praises about the back, in the last 10 minutes they just disintegrated. They allowed Derry to get down the sides, giving it away in dangerous positions, and the keeper has had to pull his back four out because it's a really smart save, and then Derry just can't scramble it over the line.
Well, the Brandywell bouncing right now, and Derry win a free kick. Cian Kavanagh 10 yards inside his own half. We've about 15 minutes left to play here. One each. Derry coming from behind with that Will Patching goal scored from the penalty spot here against Athlone on Sunday. Ball whipped dangerously towards the box. Kavanagh trying to get underneath it with a header, couldn't get any power on it. Ball now dropped for McMullen just outside the box. McMullen infield across to Patrick McAlady. Surveys his options, pushes it to Connolly. Down the line now to Boyce here. Boyce got past Nisali. Boyce has done well. Ball in towards the box. Back post. Oh, shot. Takes a deflection, and the keeper gets down low to make the save right at his near post, and it could have been a second goal for Will Patching. My word.
That's great play from Ronan Boyce down this side, Eric. Picks on the defender again. What a ball on the back post, and Patching just can't get himself set, and sort of going behind him, and he scuffs his shot. The keeper gets it, but I tell you what, they have played really well the second half.
This tie on a knife edge with a second leg still to come next week in Finland. Throw in for the Finns about midway inside the Derry half. I stand corrected, there's going to be a free kick in fact. So Derry with a piece of defending to do here. Coops with a lot of big men lined up across that 18-yard box. Not least Yengi and Jervis. In it goes, and it drops. Won by the towering header from McJanet. Looked back in towards the edge of the penalty area. Yengi looking for the ball to drop for him. Derry clear it away again. Now it's out on that right hand side for Jervis, and he's made a hash of it, and that'll be a goal kick for City. 13 minutes here left to play. Derry looking the more likelier team now to win this leg. Coops having to withhold this Derry pressure. They're looking to get McMullen away again down the right hand side. Ball knocked out of play. Throw in. Boyce to take it. Just down below us. And he throws it to Mark Connolly. Just listen to the noise inside this stadium right now. Can it push Derry towards a winning goal? 12 and a half minutes left to go. All the other Irish teams that have had Derry at the very least looking to take a draw with them to Finland, maybe even a goal lead. With a throw in 10 yards from the far corner flag. Duffy towards the back post, and it's Cian Kavanagh as this tie turns dramatically on its head with 12 minutes to go, and Kavanagh on a plate for him a couple of yards out fires it into the net, and it's bedlam at the Brandywell. City lead Coops by 2 goals to 1. What drama!
Well, again, defensively, that's shocking, Eric. The throw in, And Mickey Duffy's tried to make that road a couple of times. It hasn't come off. They've tried to chase it out on the player, but he's missed it. Duffy's carried his run, and he's just hooked it to the back post. And Cian Kavanagh, who's come in for a lot of criticism because he doesn't score enough goals, gets himself into a great centre forward position in the 6-yard box and just sweeps it high under net. What a comeback.
It's just his third goal of the season. He couldn't miss, but he was there in the right place at the right time. And from 1-0 down at half-time, Derry now lead by 2 goals to 1.
I'll tell you what, there's more goals in this. There's more goals. If Derry are brave enough, they could go on and get an R1 here.
Referee not happy with the restart. And now away we go. Ball played forward towards Yengi. Well, City now leading 2 goals to 1. We've got 10 minutes to play. Here come the Finns. What have they got as a response now? They win the ball over on the right hand side, push it down to Jervis. Sliding challenge comes in from Patrick McElhinney. Finns to take a throw in.
Just shows you the 2 subs come on, the impact they've made, Eric. Mullen sets up the first one, Kavanagh scores the second.
And the crowd are loving it right now, but Derry with a long throw in here to defend. Ball, well, attempted flick on, doesn't quite work out, and Coops have to send it back into their own half. Here it is with Tuvomaki. Well, this is what qualifying for Europe is all about. Special nights here at the Brandywell. Derry with a second leg to come, but looking to make it through 2 rounds in Europe for only this, what would be only the second time in the club's history. 2006 the last time Rory Higgins was a player.
Patrick McElhinney
in that Derry team.
Here, Eric.
Derry change looks imminent. Play restarts.
Apart from that save that Brian Maher's made, Eric, Coops have absolutely created nothing at all compared to the first half where they looked a bit of a threat. They were happy at the 1-0 just to kick it at that, but Derry have come out, went more direct and really put them under pressure, and they've struggled to cope with.
Ball down this left hand side. That will be Ronan Boyce quite happy to allow that run out for a throw in. A couple of Derry changes coming here as Rory Higgins looks for fresh legs from the bench. Sadou Diallo, whose goal set them on their way against Torshavn in the last round, and Adam O'Reilly, almost a month out of action, is about to come on. So a double substitution. Linfield 2, Pogon Szczecin 4. Plenty of goals at Windsor Park tonight. Kavanagh just watching the bounce of this ball. Cooks just looking to get this ball out, and they certainly look rattled by what they've been confronted with in this second half. Goals from Patching and Cian Kavanagh have Derry leading here by 2 goals to 1. 7 minutes of normal time to play. Boyce infield for Dummigan. McMullen's on the chase down the right hand side. Can he get to the ball first? He has got the ball at his feet. McMullen clips it towards the back post. Cradle gets a vital punch on it, but the danger's still not away. Will it be a corner kick? Yes, it is. Corner for Derry. The home team smell blood. They want a third goal here to give them an extra cushion going to Coops. Double change on the way. Maybe not before this corner kick is taken though. Will Patching.
I'll be surprised if it's not Dummigan and McElhinney coming off. I got 2 of them hobbling about there at the minute.
Yeah. McElhinney is coming off. to be replaced by Adam O'Reilly. And the second change is Will Patching coming off as well to be replaced by Diallo. So that is indeed.
Well, Diallo's going on, yep.
The double change, yeah.
You need to change there, so somebody's going to have to take a.
Stuffy's going across to take the corner kick. We have just over 5 minutes here to play. It's been a riveting second half at the Brandywell, and Derry may not be done yet. They take the corner kick too quickly for the referee's liking. So a retake required from the Lithuanian match official. In comes the corner kick. Good punch away from Cradle, the Finnish goalkeeper.
Cameron Donegan's been absolutely outstanding second half. He's just, them challenges just change games, and he's won 4 or 5 challenges, and then he's on the ball then, just keep it simple. And him and Patrick really showing their experience second half.
And a standing ovation here for Will Patching as he makes his way around to take his place on the bench. Inside the last 5 minutes, Derry camped deep in Coop's territory. Have they got another corner kick out of it? Referee says that's a goal kick.
I think Coops will be happy here. Picking it to 2-1.
I think they will be now.
Yeah. I think if it goes to 3-1, they're under serious pressure.
The winners of this tie could be heading to Kazakhstan in the third qualifying round. Come forward here as Coops with their number 33. Ball in field now for one of their substitutes, Lampanine. Going to make another change as well. Ball in towards the box. Maher makes a good catch. Heinonen is going to come on, their number 17. They look to make a further late change here, but Brian Maher has the ball in his hands, launches it straight down the pitch. Diallo picks it up. Referee almost got in the way. Sorry, Liam.
Seasons Derry has gone more direct. They've looked more of a threat and more dangerous. Oh, up there, aren't they?
And they've got a throw in out of it. Close towards the quarter flag. Here comes the Coops change. And Heinonen is coming on for Nisali, who won the penalty in the first half. 3 minutes to go off normal time. Skies darkening overhead, but what a second half performance Derry have produced here, and they're continuing to keep the ball deep in the Coops half. They've got another throw in again. Paddy McLaughlin, the Derry assistant referee, as I look at his watch down there. Rory Higgins continues to stride over and back across his technical area there. Mark Connolly on the halfway line for City, sends it into the penalty area, and the Finns clear it only as far as McMullen, though. They've got it back again. And here is Mitanen. Has he fouled McMullen? He has indeed. Free kick for Derry. Amid all the noise here, can hardly hear ourselves talk at times. And another chance to send this ball right into the danger zone. Less than 2 minutes of the 90 to go, and what difference a third goal would make here. Duffy and Doherty, the two players standing over it. Free kick for City as we move into the 90th minute of the game. They're leading 2-1. Referee just making sure the two-man wall is 10 yards back.
The yellow's getting this, Eric.
Sharp intake of breath. Referee still not happy. Still not allowing this free kick to be taken. Speaks to Connolly and a player from the Coops team. Now we'll have the free kick down the right side of the penalty area. Derry do roll it to Diallo. Here is Diallo, slips it in towards the box. Derry player goes down. No penalty, says the referee. Appeals here in the stand. Referee not interested. Duffy keeps the ball in play. He's going to pick it up here as Michael Duffy pushes it down to McMullen. McMullen cross towards the back post. Headed effort is over the bar. We're going to have 5 additional minutes. Cian Kavanagh's header over the crossbar. Liam, we're into stoppage time. Your Derry City man of the match.
Well, for an hour, Coops were in total control. Didn't look as if Derry were going to get back, and they made a sub. McMullen's come on, has been absolutely outstanding since he's come on. He set up the first goal and caused mayhem, his crosses, and he's been a real danger. He's been a real bright spark for Derry. He's given Derry an out. He's only been on the pitch 20 odd minutes, but he's made such a difference.
Throw in for Coops on the halfway line. Well, you get the impression that they will want to get out of here with the damage limited just at 2-1. Completely different outlook, of course, to what they thought was on the cards for them at half-time. But Derry have turned this round in stupendous fashion in this second half. There's a really long searching ball for the men in yellow, looking to get an attack here. Ball's gone out of play. Goal kick is the verdict from the assistant referee. Last few minutes now of this game.
It just shows you how important that save was from Brian Maher.
Yep.
When it was 1-0 and Coops were well in control again. That had went done, Derry could have folded.
Yep. What he tipped around the post from Yengi. It's 2-2, by the way, at Seaview between Crusaders and Rosenborg. Pretty eventful night there, it has to be said. Here is McMullen now for Derry City. Slips it towards the box. O'Reilly! Goalkeeper makes a big save. Adam O'Reilly inside the box. Pull the trigger. And the goalkeeper, Cradle, may well have kept his team alive in this tie, but Derry still have got a corner kick out of it. Huge save from the Austrian.
Right save, Eric. Just doesn't get enough connection on it, Eric. Doesn't get it high enough. And allows the keeper just to get a strong hand, tip it round the post.
Corner kick for Derry. We're into 2.5 minutes of stoppage time here. If they were to take a 2-goal lead to Finland, it would be huge. Header at the back post, and again the goalkeeper, Cradle, who's been absolutely massive for his team in moments in this game.
Yep. Keeper
spreads himself and makes a huge block, and Derry have a player down injured inside the box.
It's Cian Kavanagh. Yep. I think he's alright. You're right, Derek. The keeper is he's made 3 or 4 saves that, you know, any other keeper probably would have maybe pushed one into the thing. He was unlucky for Patchin's header as well too. Only for him there, his game could have been out of sight.
94th minute of this contest. Derry on the verge of taking a lead to Finland for the second leg next Thursday night. Kavanagh back on his feet again. Okay to continue, but he is being asked to leave the pitch before he can come back on again. Kevin Derry will be with us for plenty of post-match discussion between now and 10 o'clock on what has been a really dramatic night at the Brandywell. Ball up towards the edge of the box. Jervis looking to bring it under control. Derry get it away. Headed forward again, flicked on. Jervis, edge of the D, can't bring it under control. And Ben Doherty happy to clip that one out of play for a throw-in over on the halfway line. 95th minute of this contest. Across the halfway line, pumped up in towards the penalty area. Feels for a handball against the Coops midfielder, not given. Now it's with Hamanainen looking to send this one into the Derry penalty area. They've got a throw in. Last couple of seconds now off this game. Throw in is taken quickly. All eyes on the referee. Coops trying to muster one more attack in this game. Trailing by 2-1. That's the 5 minutes of additional time is up. Rory Higgins is down there in the ear of the fourth official. Coops have it, send it in towards the box. Comes off Jervis. Derry have it away. Still the referee continues to play. Now he has a look at his watch. Surely Coops have to send this ball into the box. There it goes, it's too deep. Boyce heads it away. Still whistles around the stadium. Still play is allowed to continue in the 96th minute here. Ball just inside Derry City's half, a long way from their goal. Now it's sent forward up towards the edge of the penalty area. Headed clearance, drops down. Referee blows the final whistle. Derry have won the first leg by 2-1 and have given themselves every chance of progressing in this tie. They trailed 1-0 at half-time through a penalty right on the stroke of half-time. What a second half for the ages here. The equalising goal from Will Patching on 69 minutes got Derry level. And then Cian Kavanagh, the substitute, set up by Michael Duffy, rifled in what turned out to be the winning goal on the night. It is only half-time in this tie, but Derry will take a 2-1 lead to Finland next Thursday night. And full credit to them, Liam Foyle. What a second half performance that was.
Well, it was a great last 25 minutes here. I can think of the hour. I think Coops were well in control. Derry never really caused any problems. He brought on a couple of subs, Rory, and it just injected a bit of pace into their play. Mullen especially down the right hand side, give him an out ball. He was direct, he went to players, and it allowed players to get in the box. And from then, once they went a bit more direct, Coops really struggled, you know. Then they get the second goal. Then Derry were well on top. Should have went on. The game should be over. The match should have finished here 4-1. But as you say, and you can see it from the players, even though they're happy down there, they know there's a big 90 minutes coming up. They haven't over celebrated, which I'm glad to see, because they know there's a bigger match now to play.
But to take a win with them to Finland next Thursday night, when they were trailing 1-0 at half-time, it's going to give them so much encouragement. Obviously these three players that Coops were missing, three defenders we understand, due to visa issues, they'll probably be a bit stronger next week for the return leg. But overall, do Derry have much to fear, do you think?
Well, the thing about it is, it's not down to Coops now. You're right, they have to come out and win the game. Now, as you said, them three players probably make a massive difference. I think they've another two out as well, two with injuries as well too. So
who may not be back next week.
But you know, you're taking a lead there. You could something to protect. At the start of the match, you would have said, we'll take a 1-0 and we'll go there. And the fact that the way goals don't count for nothing really, you know, it's up to score 2 to get through. If Derry get another one, then they could be out next week.
What a great night, Liam. This is what European occasions are all about.
It's all about, Derek, and that's what you want to see. That's what we want to see Derry playing there, playing with energy, playing with passion. You know, putting teams under pressure. You know, we've seen them too passive at times this season. The night was one of the great nights here at the Brandywell, especially over the last 20 years or so, the way we've seen under Stephen Kenny.
And the goal scorers will get the headlines, obviously. Patching with the equaliser, Cian Kavanagh, biggest goal of his career so far, I'm sure, to put them in front. But 2 outstanding assists from McMullen for the first and Duffy for the second.
Well, you know, McMullen come on, Eric, and he put 2 or 3 crosses on the box before he set the goal up, and then he puts a great ball in, and defensively that stage Coops were all over the place, and then for the second goal then, defensively again, you know, it's poor defenders allowed Mickey Duffy in, and he just clips a great ball to the back post. And Cian Kavanagh, hopefully that's him started now, hopefully that'll give him the lift now to believe that he's good enough to play here and a good centre forward. But second half, once Derry got the goal, there was only one team ever going to win the game.
Were you surprised at how open this match was here this evening, and how much Derry stepped it up at the end from their Torshavn performance?
Couldn't believe, Eric, how Coops never changed the way they played. You know, even Torshavn last week brought on a few back men, went direct, tried to get a goal. Coops were still trying to play out in the back and were getting caught every time. Every time they come out, Derry were putting them under pressure, running the ball high up the field, but never changed the way they played. And Derry were happy to let that go, but it was a half an hour, really half an hour. Now Coops are good for an hour, but I think Derry now, a big job they do now second half, because they're not going to have the ball as much, they're going to be under pressure a lot more. It's going to be a big defensive job from everybody on the night.
Well, second leg to come in Finland next Thursday night, but a night to savour here at the Brandywell. Derry have the job half done. They have beaten Coops by 2-1. Back to you, Oran.
Thanks very much, Eric and Liam. More from Liam in a minute. We'll just go through the rest of the results. Well, with the local sides tonight, Ferencváros of Hungary absolutely hammered the League of Ireland champions Shamrock Rovers. It finished 4-0 in favour of the Hungarians. Dundalk also beaten in Europe. Akayari of Iceland beating the Lily Whites 3-1. Linfield, they've been beaten at Windsor Park by Polish opposition Pogoń. It was 5-2 in favour of the Polish. They're still playing at Seaview Crusaders and Rosenborg of Norway. It's currently 2-2 there with a couple of minutes left to play. A look at some of the other big sports stories over the last few days, and still to come. The Republic of Ireland, they've been knocked out of their first ever Football Women's World Cup after losing to Canada 2-1 in Perth. The captain Kitty McCabe put Ireland in front direct from a corner early on, but an own goal from Ireland's Megan Connolly and Adriana Leon put the game beyond the Irish. Here is the Irish captain Kitty McCabe. Alongside Liam is Kevin Derry, the former Derry City midfielder and current manager of Institute. Kevin, we'll just get into that small matter of you taking over a football club before we get into what we watched here tonight. Happy to be back at it?
Absolutely. I would be delighted if we could get a tenth of the support that was here tonight. No, jokingly, of course, no, but delighted to get back on it as a manager first and foremost. But here tonight, you see the special occasions in the Brandywell when it's a full house, and we were just speaking, me and Liam, the 2 subs, Cian Kavanagh and Paul McMullen, came on and made the difference. I think after suffering the setback of going 1-0 down, we were saying that they could come out in the second half and get overawed here, but Derry didn't. They got on the front foot, they got after them, they got down the sides, and they created 3 or 4 great chances and probably could have ran away with a 3-1.
Yeah, Kevin, at half time, speaking to a lot of people and a lot of messages just in the phone, was talking about how good Coops were and as if they were going to roll Derry over in the second half. Derry looked very, very different.
As I say, whatever Rory Donner said at half time, they were sussing each other out. Coops, they were standing off them, started getting tight in midfield. Cameron Dummigan started breaking up a lot of the play. Brandon Kavanagh came off, McMullen came in, they got down the sides, Ronan Boyce was getting down the sides, Mickey and Ben were linking up, and we were just saying there's a lot, just get at teams down the sides here, get the crowd right behind you, put balls in the box, and that's how they get their 2 goals, and probably could have won 1 or 2 more, only for a couple of fantastic saves from a goalkeeper.
Certainly, Liam, you're full of praise for Cameron Dummigan today. He mightn't get all the products, but done a lot of the work.
Well, they did, and Kevin will tell you, it's a hard job, especially in the middle of field against European teams where you're chasing a lot for 90% of the game, you know what I mean, and you're not on the ball. But when the game needed somebody just to go and close people down, just and that Kevin knows more about playing in the middle of the field than me, but just going 5-10 yards, not letting them play, because they were happy for about an hour, 65 minutes. Coops were happy, they were playing it back on the middle, keeper was getting it, and then all of a sudden, McMullen comes on, stretches the game, Cian Kavanagh comes on, somebody standing up there, they play against the centre half, somebody they hit and then pushes you up a field, and Dummigan did that, and because Patrick struggled for most of the match, so Dummigan was sort of doing his work as well too. So great performance. There was 2 or 3 great performances there tonight.
You know more than most, Cian Kavanagh goal, how much a goal can change a striker. He'll hope to kick on from that.
Well, he's come in for a bit of criticism, and and I'd have been one, because I think he doesn't score enough goals. But me and Kevin just talking about it. Sometimes football's a simple game. It's overcomplicated at times, especially here in European nights and big nights, and when the crowd's really up. Kevin said, we get the ball forward quick, and that's what Derry did. And as a centre forward, if you're playing one up front and the balls go back and forward and you're making 2 or 3 runs, it's not happening, it's not coming for you. 2 balls goes on the back, you get 2 goals out of it, and Cian Kavanagh gets his goal right on the 6-yard box, where every good striker should be.
Rory Higgins, speaking to Eric before it, Kevin, didn't want to get drew into any of the fact that how important it was to take a lead to Finland next week. It's absolutely massive that they are taking a lead.
It is, surely, and it's coming from a goal down, because they could suffer another goal down, but they're already psychologically, they know they can come back from it, and to be honest, they probably could have ran out 3-1 winners. They probably could have got another one.
The keeper was exceptional.
But Cian Kavanagh, for me, epitomised when he came on. He made 4 or 5 real proper purposeful runs. They press the ball, they get his team along with him, and you could just see he was electrified with the crowd tonight, and that has to be the same mentality out there. They mightn't have the same back, and I don't know what their support's like, but Derry get a few fans out there. They have to really go after this team and be aggressive, because I think when you seen the last half hour when they started winning the battle in midfield, getting the ball wide, getting 2v1s down the side, they should have ran out probably more comfortable winners. So that has to be the game plan. Just get right after these and don't stand off them in midfield, get your foot at them and get on the front foot.
They're a good side, but they're not a great side.
Liam, I think especially for the 65 minutes we spoke about, it was more centre back, keeper, and Jamie was running about chasing. Now out here, Rory can come up with a game plan. No, that's fine, let them have that. You be compact, don't let them play between the lines, and if they do, we're aggressive and we're springing on them with quick wingers and quick fullbacks who can create something for us.
It was the same against Tórshavn. Liam, Rory Higgins had to make a couple of switches, things weren't going their way, and I suppose he's came up trumps tonight again.
It was a far better performance tonight. Or the second half last week was so disappointing, because Tórshavn weren't a good side. But as I said in commentary, Tórshavn last week at least changed. They brought on a couple of big players last week and went direct, and it caused Derry problems. Coops looked to me as if they're very one-dimensional the way they play, and then they couldn't change the way they play. Then they put Derry under pressure. Derry were happy. Then they go, right, well, that's how we know these are good in the middle of the field. These are a couple of good players. They're good on the ball, but you're not hurting us. Work away. Yeah. And that's what happened. And to be fair, once Derry got their noses in front, Coops, they capitulated, you know what I mean? As Kevin said, only for the keeper it could have been 4.
How do you expect it to play out in Finland next week, Kevin?
For me, their centre forward's a real threat. Yengi, I think he was getting real good joy in the first 55 minutes, 60 minutes. He looked a threat. Cameron looked shook up a wee bit with him, so I think it's getting that personal battle right with him. He was, for me, the big threat for them. And everywhere else around the park are evenly matched. If Derry have none to fear, see if they can come out in them physical duels and get after this team.
It just depends how good the 3 players that are out there, they'll come back, and whether they make them much better, or which you would think they will.
The lads that didn't get here with their visas,
so that
could be a problem.
That could be your only thing, because it might allow the other players, because like I said, they didn't miss them, and then all of a sudden you could just see that once they were put under pressure, the fellas that were brought on tonight, you could see that they weren't maybe at the same level.
How difficult would that be? Because missing players any other side of the pitch, but 3 your back 4 is huge.
Yeah, and as Liam says, that could really give them a real impetus to get in the front foot against there. We don't know the quality of them, but I'm sure Rory will do his homework on them. I know there was 1 or 2 making their debut there, their first appearance of the season, so that's something you have to cope with as well. For me, the way Derry finished the game, they have to take loads of confidence from that. Do not stand off them. Don't be grateful and appreciative of their nice football. get after him, get the personnel in there that's willing to get after him, and as you can see, you can get at them in fullback areas. They really struggled out here, fullbacks, and if we get numbers on the box, they got chances there in the night, and that has to be the game plan.
Paul McMullen is absolutely electric. The pace that he has is incredible. It could be sort of a breakout night for him, the Scotsman here.
He's an old-fashioned winger, or like, you know, and Kevin will tell you the way the game has changed, you know, and the way Rory plays, and Derry come in for criticism the way they play, because everything's inside, you know. Your Branton comes inside, your Mickey comes inside, and it's all, and teams are happy to sit there. But it just shows you when you have somebody that can get at the fullback and put a good cross in, you know, it turns defences rather than, you know, sitting everything in front and playing. And that's what happened. Like, I mean, Mullen, he's a throwback. I remember there's a fella came from Scotland, Paul Kennard, played with me here at Derry. Same thing, played with Dundee United and that. He just had one thing in his mind. You know, you give the ball out to him, and your first thought was, I'm getting in the box, because he's getting he's going at the fullback and crossing it. And that's what it gives. It gives people like Wall Patching, you know, who's coming lit with a header, gives him a chance to get in the box rather than waiting for things to come outside the box.
On that as well, Coyle, I spoke about it. We need midfielders getting in the box, and you could see from that goal, Wall played like a proper old-fashioned 10 tonight. He got in people's faces, he ran into the box, he made runs under the channel, he got back when he had to get back. He wasn't this player keeping the ball, taking over. He done the real ugly stuff for the team tonight, and he got his reward with a bullet header in the bottom corner to get his team back on it.
Why don't we see that from Derry all the time? Why does it take to go a goal down to get that rocket? Why do they not
play like that? That's what I said. Like, you know, I would love to see Derry playing like that all the time. But the fact is, you know, at times in the League Ireland, you're going to be better than our teams on the ball, so you're going to play that way. But it gives Rory now a plan B, whereas he's coming for a bit of criticism that he doesn't have a plan B. Now he does. You know, he can change it, he can mix it up now. He can go too up front, he can go too wide, and it gives him a chance now to, you know, when things aren't going well, they change it up.
But the players, Liam, you get a spark on these nights. Know what I mean? You have to dig deep whenever you are home to the teams you're expected to beat. You have to find that wee spark. They run over the top of teams that we didn't see, you know, in some games here. But the night they had it, they just found that spark because of a full house, a European, and getting through that first tie against Arshavin was a big thing, because there's a lot of pressure in Derry. They were the favourites to go through, a lot of the money to the club, so they took the shackles off tonight and had a go at this team, because it's more or less a 50-50 game where they were expected. They won the last leg, and now they have a great chance of going through another round. I
think it was 06 was the last time Derry won. We talked about maybe a spark to get teams over the line. You had 2 sparks yourself in Gretna. I told him I would come back to this one. He said they were 2 25-yard flukes.
It's going on the headstone. It's good. No, but that was 17 years ago, the day that we played Gothenburg. It shows you where time goes, but this team has a chance now to rewrite that. Like, they're potentially going through the second qualifying round, the conference, so go for it, lads. Never have a regret. Go out there and have a go at this team. Don't try and sit back and defend the lead.
But the one thing that he does have, Kevin, that probably since then you haven't had as a squad.
The squad's back.
The squad's back. The 2006 times where they were able to change it up, and, you know, he made 7 changes on Sunday, and you can see it tonight. Like, you know what I mean? Players finished the game fresher, whereas before, when Derry teams got to get into Europe, you were playing maybe a Sunday, a Thursday, and you didn't have the squad to dip into, but now he does.
But you're taking Patrick off, and you're taking Patching off, and you're putting Diallo and O'Reilly on. So it's like for like. Right. He's got a good squad, so Derry have momentum. Now they have to keep that with him, because as we see, Shamrock Rovers aren't pulling up no roots in the league, and they can really gather momentum now and have a real push for the season. It could be a real successful one. This could be a turning point tonight.
Kevin, finally, in the short time we have, Liam and Eric said before the game that it was probably the strongest team that Rory Higgins could put out in the field. What a time to get your strongest team out on the field.
Absolutely, and Diallo will be feeling hard done by. He got the goal to get them here now. So that's how good their squad is. So Rory's got his full squad back. It's managing them, keeping them fit now, and as I say, having no fear going out to Finland. No, you don't want to go out with regrets and say, right, we've tried to sit and protect the 2-1.
Well, it's not going to be easy, but
no, it's not
going to be easy. But you're right. You're going out there now with a goal lead.
You've come from a goal down as well. This has to be your mentality. It can't be sit down and just protect, because they do have some good attacking players, and you don't want to do that you see, they probably tried to manage the game from 2-0 or 1-0 down. It's 60th minute.
Yep.
They've tried to manage the game, and it backfired on them. In the first 50 minutes they were in the front foot, they were creating more chances. 60th minute they tried to slow it down, sit behind the ball, and Derry got on the front foot then.
Lads, thanks very much for your time in the programme. The thoughts there of Kevin Derry and Liam Foyle. That's it for Foyle Sports Sound for another week. Derry City have beaten Kuopion, Finland 2-1. We're back next Thursday night. The County Stripes in Finland to face the same opposition in the second leg. Reaction on the Northwest Today programme tomorrow morning from 8:30. But from Scott Rutherford back at the BBC Radio Foyle studios, Eric White, Liam Coyle, Kevin Derry and myself, Oren Crumley, here at the Ryan McBride Brandywell Stadium. Thanks for joining us and good night.